Good morning, my dear viewers. In the last class, we talked about classification of signals. Now we are trying to explain the elementary signals. These elementary signals also called as standard signals, and these are the standard signals I have. One is exponential signal, unit step signal, you have a unit ramp signal, unit parabolic signal, Dirac delta signal, sinusoid signal. Likewise, many number of variety of standard signals are there. These standard signals are basis for signal systems. So coming to the exponential signal. So exponential signal is being divided into two. One is real exponential, another is complex exponential. So let us talk about real exponential right now. So the real exponential signal x of t equal to c into e power at, where c and a are real numbers and x of t is called real exponential signal. And the graphical representation of the real exponential signal would be like this. Either exponentially increasing function of time or exponentially decaying function of time based on the value of t and a. If t and a are chosen in such a way that the graphical representation of exponential may be either increasing function of time or maybe decreasing function of time. And another one is a general complex exponential signal. The general complex exponential signal can also be defined in the similar way, but the value of c and a are not real. C and a are complex in nature. So that is c equal to modulus of c into e power j theta, a equal to r plus j omega naught, where r is the real part and j omega naught is the imaginary part. So I can write x of t equal to c e power at can be written as modulus of c e power j theta into e power r plus j omega naught into t. This can be written as modulus of c into e power minus rt e power j omega naught t plus theta. This can further be represented as a sinusoidal and cosinusoidal form. So this can be modulus of c e power r theta rt into cos omega naught t plus theta plus j into modulus of c e power rt sin omega naught t plus theta. So here, based on the value of r, I can say the signal is a complex number or exponentially decaying or exponentially increasing. For r equal to 0, the real and imaginary parts of the complex exponential sinusoids will be available. Suppose if r is greater than 0, then the signal corresponds to sinusoidal signals multiplied with the growing exponentials. I will show what is a exponential signal, growing exponential signal like this. This for r is less than 0, then that is corresponds to sinusoidal signal multiplied with the decreasing exponentials. So these are the two waveforms which is called exponentially increasing sinusoid and exponentially decreasing sinusoid. This signal is called decayed sinusoid. This is an increasing sinusoid and this is a decaying sinusoid. Or I can say this is what is called a damping sinusoid signal. So normal sinusoid signal is called undamped sinusoid. So coming to the unit step signal. Unit step signal is a one which is defined for t greater than 0. Means the step signal imitates the sudden change characteristics of the actual signal. So that is u of t equal to a for t greater than or equal to 0 and equal to 0 for t less than 0. The corresponding graphical representation would be look like this. If a equal to 1, it becomes a unit step signal in continuous case. A equal to 1, then it is a unit step signal in continuous case. Similarly, in discrete case, the discrete time signal unit step signal can be denoted as u of n rather than u of t, which may be equal to 1 for n is greater than or equal to 0 and equal to 0 for n less than 0. And this is a simple unit step signal and having samples at n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on here. Whereas if I consider a continuous time signal, it is constant throughout the time period right from 0 to infinity. Here also same amplitude but maybe different instants of time, maybe at instant 0, instant 1, instant 2, instant 3 and so on you will have. So what is the practical unit step signal? So as we have been given unit step signal, similarly I can also define what is a practical unit step signal and delta signal. So the unit step signal, practical unit step signal u of t is discontinuous at t equal to 0 and consequently is formally not differentiable. An approximation to the unit step signal is shown like this. This is the approximate science, what is called our step signal. This is u delta t. This is the practical unit step signal. So for this unit step signal, the unit step changes values instantaneously and thus can be thought of as idealized u delta t for a particular value called delta. And if you want to calculate the delta function, you differentiate the signal with respect to t, I can get delta t, delta t equal to d by dt of u delta t. If you represent this u delta t can be represented like this. So the gap between 0 to this particular point is the delta time delay. So this is itself considered to be as a simple rectangular pulse. If this rectangular pulse is becoming narrow, then it becomes a delta signal. That is delta t equal to limit delta tends to 0, d by dt of u delta t is called delta function. This delta function is also called as a Dirac delta function. This is also called as a Dirac delta function or maybe impulse function in time. So this is denoted as delta t equal to, defined as t equal to 1 at t equal to 0 only and equal to 0 elsewhere. And corresponding impulse function would be look like this. This is an impulse signal existing only at t equal to 0 and remaining time period signal will not be available. So here you have some property. The area under the signal, under the impulse signal is always b1. So that is integral minus infinity to infinity delta t dt equal to 1. Similarly, unit impulse can be thought of as the first derivative of the continuous unit step signal. That's what we have already derived in the previous slide. So delta t equal to d by dt of u of t. In general, I can write in without using u delta t. I can directly write u of t. So here we have some properties of the Dirac delta function. So the impulse signal is always be an even function of time for delta t equal to u of delta minus t. Delta t equal to delta minus t. So whether the mirror image of delta t is itself delta minus t. Another one, the shifting property of unit step signal, unit impulse signal. So this can be written as integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into delta t minus t naught dt equal to x of t naught. Similarly, the time scaling property is another one. So u delta of at equal to 1 by a into delta t. So delta of at is called a time scaled signal. So if I have a time scaled signal of delta signal, I can get 1 by a into delta t. Is one of the important property of delta function. Another one is a sampling property or multiplication property of Dirac delta function is x of t multiplied with delta t equal to x of 0 into delta t. Why it is x of 0? Because delta t exists only at t equal to 0, I can have this is x of 0 into delta t, which can also be equivalent to simply x of 0. So I can have another definition or property, x of t into delta t minus t naught equal to x of t naught into delta t minus t naught, or simply I can write x of t naught. So another sampling property or integral property or multiplication sampling properties or convolution property, I can say x of t equal to integral minus infinity infinity x of tau into delta t minus tau d tau. So if you integrate with respect to tau and multiplied with x of tau into delta t minus tau d tau equal to simply x of t. This is an important formula for deriving the convolution of any convolution of two signals that we are going to discuss later in the future classes. Now, what could be the relation between unit step signal and impulse signal? So we have already derived, but we are trying to consolidate the same. The continuous step is a running integral of unit impulse. So u of t can be written as integral minus infinity infinity delta t delta tau d tau. This is a simple relation, u of t equal to integral minus infinity t delta tau d tau. And the same continuous time impulse signal is also defined as the first derivative of the unit step signal, just reverse to it. So delta t equal to d by dt of u of t. So delta t equal to d by dt of u of t. What is u of t? U of t is integral minus infinity t delta tau d tau. So coming to the discrete time signals, this is the interval of summation. I can have delta m is the normal signal. So if I keep on shifting either positive direction or negative direction, you will be getting the signal only at n equal to 0. So there is a close relationship between the discrete time unit impulse and unit step. In particular, the discrete time unit impulse is the first difference of the discrete step signal. What is the first difference? Delta t is delta n is the impulse signal. U of n is the unit step signal. U of n minus u of n minus 1 will give you what is called a delta t. Similarly, the discrete time unit step signal is the running sum of the unit sample signal. So that is u of n equal to m equal to minus infinity to n. Delta m is the unit step signal derived from unit sample signal. So another one is unit ramp signal. Unit ramp signal is also a line passing through origin. So the continuous unit ramp signal is denoted by r of t equal to t into u of t. So this is the mathematical expression, whereas this is the graphical representation. So t in x-axis, r of t in y-axis. When t equal to 1, r of t equal to 1. When t equal to 2, r of t equal to 2. T equal to 3, r of t equal to 3. Means the time and r of t is both are proportional to each other. So this is a line passing through origin. So r of t equal to 0 for t less than 0 and equal to t for t greater than 0. So this is a continuous ramp signal. Similarly, the discrete ramp signal also similar to that, but instead of r of t, I can write r of n. R of n equal to n into u of n, where u of n is the unit step signal in discrete time domain. So the ramp of n equal to n for n greater than or equal to 0 and equal to 0 for n less than 0. So this can also be represented as simply n into u of n. This is the mathematical representation of discrete time signal, discrete time ramp signal, and this is the graphical representation of ramp signal. So if you just look at the signal at n equal to 0, you have 0. At n equal to 1, 1, n equal to 2, 2, n equal to 3, 3, n equal to 4, 4. Similarly, I have n equal to 8, you have a amplitude of this is 8. So it is a ramp signal. So you can also represent both in discrete time domain or maybe in the continuous time domain. Shape of the signal is same, but in continuous, the signal will be continuous over 0 to infinity. Here, the signal is discrete in from 0 to infinity, but it will be in discrete in nature from 0 to infinity, right? So again, another one is a paraboloid signal. So the paraboloid signal is also called acceleration characteristics. This will have an acceleration characteristics. So this is how the paraboloid signal is going to be. Suppose P of t equal to a into t square by 2 for t greater than 0 and equal to 0 for t less than 0. So if a equal to 1, it is a unit paraboloid signal, unit parabolic signal. So this is the simple parabolic signal with the slope a, and this is the parabolic signal with the slope unity. Similarly, the discrete time signal also I can represent. So P of n is the y-axis, n is the x-axis. I can have P of n equal to n square by 2 for n greater than or equal to 0 and equal to 0 for n less than 0. For discrete and continuous case, the unit parabolic signal can be represented. And what could be the relationship between unit step, ramp and impulse signal? If we just see here, this is the practical ramp signal. Practical ramp signal. This is a ramp signal. This is a step signal, and this is the derivative of the ramp signal. So if you derivative of the ramp signal, if I make this delta to 0, then I will be getting what is called your impulse signal or derivative of the step signal. Derivative of the step signal is impulse signal. Derivative of the ramp signal is a rectangular signal or maybe square signal. And another one, a simple square sinusoidal signal is another one. This is a sinusoidal signal, a sin omega naught t plus pi. A is the amplitude of the signal, omega naught is the angular frequency, t is the time. So this is the time period of the signal, capital T equal to 2 pi by omega naught. So we have already discussed what is the sinusoidal signal, how the amplitude can be represented, what is the time periods which we have been represented. We have already explained in the first video of signal systems. So the discrete time signal is also similar to that. Discrete time signal can be defined in a manner analogous to the continuous time signal, but maybe instead of a sin omega naught t minus pi or plus pi, you can have a sin 2 pi n by capital N plus theta. So this is the simple sinusoidal signal in discrete time domain. It is also similar to the shape of the sinusoid, but maybe having a discrete instance. Maybe at a discrete instance, the signal will be available. This is the sinusoidal signal. So rectangular signal, rectangular and triangular signal can be represented. So mathematical expression for rectangular signal is this. May be represented as pi of t by t equal to 1 modulus of t less than t and equal to 0 elsewhere. The corresponding waveform you will be getting rectangular signal will be like this. So minus t to t, amplitude of this is 1, varies from minus 1 to minus t to t. So this is a simple rectangular pulse. The shape itself, looking at the signal, I can say it is a rectangle in shape. So coming to the triangular signal, you have a triangular signal mathematical expression delta t by tau equal to 1 minus 2 into mod t by tau for mod t less than or equal to tau by 2 equal to 0 elsewhere. This is the mathematical expression for triangular signal, and this is the simple waveform representation of a triangular pulse. Because it is in the form of triangle, so the shape is triangle, so I can call this as a triangular waveform. Coming to the signum function. Signum function is another function which can be derived from the unit step signal by using some mathematical operations. So what are the different mathematical operations which are going to be carried out on signals? We are going to discuss maybe in the next video. So signum of t is defined as signum of t equal to 1 for t greater than 0 and equal to minus 1 for t less than 0. So the graphical representation of signum of t is look like this. So here I have positive value for t greater than 0, a negative value for t less than 0. So this is a simple signum function. Coming to the signal function in terms of unit step signal, signum of t equal to 2 into u of t minus 1. From here, I can also write u of t equal to signum of t plus 1 by 2. I can write. So signum of t equal to 2 into u of t minus 1. What is u of t? U of t equal to 1 for t greater than 0. So when u of t is replaced with 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. So what is u of t for t less than 0? It is 0. So automatically it is replaced with 0. So you will add minus 1. So you may be able to get the signum of t from the u of t you can get. So you have another signal called a sinc function or a sampling function. This is another important signal where we can define sampling theorem. So sinc function, sinc of t equal to sin pi t by pi t. Sin pi t by pi t is a sinc function, sinc t. So the same thing can also be represented in the form of sampling function as sampling of t equal to sin t by t. And corresponding figure or maybe waveform which is being represented like this. So it is called as a sinc function because the amplitude of the sinusoidal signal is maximum at origin and the amplitude of the signal is keep on sinking as time increases. That's why it is called sinc signal. Sinc signal. It is sync, the amplitude is sinking as t goes on increasing, either in positive direction or maybe in the negative direction. That's why it is called, the name has been given as sinc signal or sinc function. And the last signal is a Gaussian pulse. So Gaussian pulse is something like a bell-shaped curve. So if you just go to any temple, maybe as soon as you enter into the temple, you have a bell which is hanging to the roof of a temple. So if you just observe it, it is like a bell-shaped curve. And the mathematical expression for Gaussian pulse is x of t equal to a e power minus t square or a e power minus a t square, where a may be 1 year. So this is a mathematical expression for Gaussian pulse. So this is the shape of the Gaussian pulse you may have. So all these shapes you should keep in mind. Then only you may be able to solve some of the problems related to signals and systems. So you have some problems related to what is called Dirac delta function. Based on the properties of the Dirac delta function, you can solve it. So integral minus infinity to e power minus a t square into delta t minus phi dt. So what is this? This will be existing only at t equal to 5. So the integral sanctity of the integral will not be there. So you can have this will be equal to x of t into delta t minus t naught will give you x of t naught. So t naught is 5. So x of t equal to e power minus a t square. So t is replaced with 5. So e power minus a 5 square. So you have e power minus 25a you will get. Similarly, integral 0 to infinity t square delta t minus 6 dt. So which is also similar to the property like that. So I can write t square, t is replaced with 6, I can have 36. 6 square is 36. Similarly, I can have minus infinity to power minus 2t delta t plus 2 dt. So this will be defined at t equal to minus 2, delta t plus 2 equal to 1 at t equal to minus 2. So substitute t equal to minus 2, I can have e power 4. Similarly, here integral 0 to infinity t minus 2 whole cubed into delta t minus 6 dt. This is also being defined at t equal to 6. So 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 cubed is 64. So this is a simple way of calculating the integrals of delta function you can have, right? Thank you, viewers.